Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another tournament live stream. Today I'm not actually streaming the professionals, I'm actually streaming the challengers. And not just that, I put my control room on my iPad, and that means that I can pretty much go full stream. It's not actually full stream, to be honest, but for you guys it looks that way. And there's a tournament invite. As I said, I will be spectating and commentating on the challengers for Asia. And I'll be doing that throughout the whole season, for Asia that is. I'll be doing a mixture of professionals and challengers for EU, and I'll be doing professionals completely on NA. So basically we've kind of just tried to divide things between the streamers so that everyone gets a mixture of everywhere. And I'm actually just excited, to be honest. They're probably very, very confused about my being there. But hopefully they know that they're being streamed. So we are starting off with ECG versus DCGTB Series D. Can't you just use normal names? I'm just going to call them Twilight, really. ECS and Twilight, that's the only way to go about this. But yeah. Anyhow. Hello everyone. There's a 5-minute delay on the stream, so anything you say in the chat I won't be able to respond to until 5 minutes after, which basically makes interacting with the chat a little bit dull. But it is what it is, can't do anything about that. So we are starting it off on Fort Despair with a best of 5. And I think they're actually trying to make someone spectator, baby. I don't know. I'm not sure how used these guys are to being streamed. And I don't believe that during the Challenger Professionals you can actually use a spectator. So that's probably confusing for them. Anyhow, I do like that we're sort of getting a mixture of challengers and professionals on all the servers. Because the thing is that challengers may not be top 8, but there's still very good teams there. And they've worked really hard to get where they are. So for me, it is worth them getting streamed as well. So yeah, right now we're just waiting for the match to begin. Little less than 3 minutes to go before we go into the first match. I hope the audio levels are all fine. I've sort of looked at that together with Toby earlier today because OBS was acting up before. And basically I'm hoping that everything will work as intended now. It definitely looks a lot better without the overlay. To be fair, I'm just going to show you. Basically what happens is I had this size before when it comes to actual game screen, and now we've got this. So that's a very big difference. And I'm actually happy. So if this works as intended, I'm definitely going to do it more often and just stream this way with less in between. You just get my logo. You will not avoid the logo. I basically want that there. Because it's my bug, it's my logo. Anyhow, basically less than 2 minutes to go before we go into the actual match. And it's kind of getting used to it for me as well, with the fact that the screen is just so much wider. For Fort Despair, by the way, we see that ECS has taken 2 Kranwagens, 2 IS-4s, a 260 and 2 mice. 260 is an interesting choice here. I do love the tank, don't get me wrong, I really love the tank, but at the same time I'm not sure if it is clan wars worthy, tournament worthy, not sure what term you should use, but it's mainly to do with the fact that it's a heavium, and that means that it is more mobile, but it also lacks the armor. It can't really be a heavy, it can't really be a med either, so it will be interesting to see how it will perform. And here we have on Twilight's side, we see 1 Kranwagen, 3 IS-4s, a mouse, a 215B and an E5. That's a very interesting lineup. A little bit of old meta there. And they can potentially do very well with this lineup, but it just depends on what they do. What I've always found with Asia server is that they're always lagging behind a little bit in the meta. And I think that that's because their clan war scene is so much smaller. So there's also less pro clans to basically fight against. And that can make things a little bit difficult when you want to train really proper tactics. And things like this can really work. Less than half a minute left to go before we actually go into the game. And Then we'll just see. Hope the music is all fine. Like, it's supposed to be background noise, so that's not like completely quiet if I stop talking for a few seconds or something. So yeah. Later today, by the way, I will be streaming Professionals EU and Professionals NA, and the thing to keep in mind with that as well is that we get to give away June Battle Passes for the professional streams. So that's going to be epic as well. I will be organizing those on my channel, of course, so be sure to tune in then as well. And here we go, the very first battle. And the 260 is a pike, I appreciate that as well. Lots of legendary camos on ECG size, to be fair. Let's see. I do like that. I mean, it's a fish, the pike. But it looks quite nice. It kind of looks like it's a sea serpent instead. So let's go up and away. And have a look. Have to move my iPad a little bit. Basically, I have my iPad in my lap right now to keep an eye on the control room. This is also moving a lot more smoothly than it used to. It's good to not have your browser open when you're streaming, really. So we have both teams heading towards the A and B area. Dutch footballer Van Persie in the E5, overlooking that bit. Joined by the IS-4. The mice are steadily moving in. The kranwagens are there. And basically we have a sort of Mexican standoff. IS-4 taking a little bit of damage, so does the kranwagens. And right now, people are just content to hold. There's not much happening right now. But we have a lone pike heading towards base C, potentially. Not entirely certain that that will be the case. We have an IS-4 standoff in the corner. And the pike is overlooking first, has been spotted. But has no targets. Van Persie losing quite a bit of HP there. Overextending just a little bit. And now we have Mutsu is my waifu. Pretty sure that is not my Mutsu. He's not playing. But that's a very interesting name to be sure. And he is pushing in base B and capping. Now we have the pike moving in. Very aggressively. One of the kranwagens has been taken out. Frozen is being set upon. Coke bottle has to be careful not to lose more HP. There goes Frozen. And now we have the pike in a lot of trouble there. Adu in a very open position. That's not going to work out for him, and he gets taken out again. Now we have Coke bottle who's barely alive. Not sure why they're not focus firing him, but okay. He gets taken out just after Van Persie has been taken out, and this means that ECS has lost 3 guns versus the 2 guns from Twilight. It is a bit of a chaotic match, let's put it that way. Chenyev taking damage now. Maso has been literally pinned down by the mouse, who's now moving forwards and takes another shot from him. There goes Chenyev. And basically they're trying to take out Minerva there. But not before Maso gets taken out. GTFK still alive, if barely. There he goes. And it is 4 versus 2. They are two very healthy tanks though. And that shot missing might have been absolutely vital, especially since he's showing him his backside right now. But they need to focus fire and they need to work together to try and take these teams. Minerva next in line. Ayanami-chan is probably not going to live much longer. Maybe one more reload if he gets a shot in. That is vital at this stage. And we have Mutsu is my waifu. Blocking. And there we go. It is 1v1. But it's an IS-4 versus a mouse. And that can go every which way. And in the meantime, they are just penning each other. Probably promoting each other. Which I commend. But Twilight has a base. So even if the timer gets to 0, that would mean that Twilight takes it home. And of course they're not going to be shooting random normal ammo here. Oof, that is where the mouse comes in. And now Zhang Bang is a one shot. Let's see. There's a building there. Mutsu is my waifu, playing this very cleverly, to be honest. And he takes him out. And the first match is for Twilight. Ah, to be fair, this does look. Yay, thank you. I haven't played a battle on this plus account yet, as you might have guessed with that. But Mutsu is my waifu, doing very well here. Holding nicely. 1 minute and a half left to go before we go into the second match. And let's see. In the meantime, there's some very dark clouds coming over, so I'm expecting a bit of a rain soon. Maybe even thunder. I do love thunder. 1 minute, 15 seconds left to go before we go into the second match. And we see that Twilight is taking 2 mice, 3 ice 4s and 2 e5s now potentially. There they go, they've readied up and they're going to go up against 2 crown wagons, 2 ice 4s, 2 mice and a t57 heavy. That's an interesting choice as well, but basically I do like that from ECG. They're not really taking the standard tanks here. But yeah. We'll have to see how it works out for them. It is a best of 5, so anything can still happen. There's no real pressure just yet. And we have 37 seconds left to go before we go into the match. So let's see. In the meantime, just trying to find the best place for my iPad here. Because I kind of want to not have it rest like on my lap, because it makes it harder to keep track of what's actually being said in the chat and all of that. But here we go, countdown clock has begun. We are getting ready for the second match of this Challengers tournament. And here we go. I'm actually really liking the fact that I can like sort of semi full screen stream. Yeah, that looks so much better, not gonna lie. So let's see. Damn names though. And let's go up and away. I was going to say I expect more action at A and B, but in this case we have Twilight actually going towards base C, so let's have a look at them as they cross over. The E5s and the Ice 4s heading that way, while the mice continue towards base B. ECG unaware of that as yet, but now they spotted each other and the mice are being set upon. Base C is being capped and they land their first shot into the mice there. The thing is that it's always dangerous to go after the mice first because they've just got so much armor. So with that, Twilight has a point advantage, but now we have ECG capping 2 bases at once. And unless that is decapped, that will give them a big advantage there. And all they need to do is basically just hold. And they managed to get it. Frozen being set upon, losing a lot of HP very, very quickly here. Now pulling back. We have an E5 out in the open there. Tesfaye, no idea. Not in the best of position, but luckily for him, Zhang Pan actually hits the ground instead of him. It will be up to Twilight to actually do something though. Mutsu is my waifu, losing some HP. We have Boom Boom Minerva going after one of the mice. And we have Twilight now moving in. And they kind of need to make sure that every shot counts here. Basically, we're entering a chaotic phase again. And they're shooting kind of different targets here. Frozen, definitely the preferred target here, even though he's a mouse. He's not going to survive that much longer. Mutsu's my waifu gets set on fire. And there, both of the mice are gone. And they need to focus fire. They need to make sure to take those guns out. Both teams have lost 2 guns so far. But they're in very precarious positions here. Precarious actually fits here as well. Because I'm very curious about these actions. Test fire, gets tracked. He's not going to survive another reload, but there he goes. With him being taken out, he gets to live another day as he uses the corpse. The mouse is going after him though, wanting to take him out, but he gets another hit in before he's taken out. Right now, both teams have lost quite a bit of guns. It is 3 versus 2 now, fairly healthy tanks. And this could actually go to ECG's side, despite the early advantage that Twilight had. He is capping base B, which is very important in this stage because you don't want to have to worry about that. But at the same time, Fennec is not careful enough, and he's going to die on the next reload, especially when that shot bounces. It is a very precarious position that Twilight finds themselves in now. And there's pretty much no escape for Van Persie. Unless he gets like 2 magical ammo racks, and that's just not going to happen in the middle of a tournament. The mouse now moving in aggressively, wanting to sandwich him against the building. And with that being said, that basically means he has no way to go and no hope to survive. He bounces on the mouse, and basically they're sort of like hugging him to death here. He does get a little bit more damage in, but there's just no escape for him. And now he has 10 HP left. To be fair, they could literally hug him to death here. But there he goes. And the mouse gains an extra head. Interesting sight. So that was a pretty aggressive game. In this case it worked out for ECG, so very well done there. And again, that means that there's no real pressure just yet, because it is best of 5, which means that the first 3 victories is going through to the upper bracket. And it is a double elimination, so even if you lose this matchup, you still get another chance. So yeah. Now we just wait for the 3rd match. We are moving maps, so we are going to Black Goldville. And as such, we see the lineups change. And Twilight is now taking a Kranwagen 3 Ice Force and 3 E5s versus potentially, a T22, 2 E5s, a Vickers, 2 Ice Force, and not sure what JTFK is going to take, but he's going to fall in E5 as well. So that's going to be interesting as well. Much more mobile lineups on both sides, but Twilight still not taking any actual meds. Could potentially be very tricky. So they have more armor, but they lack the mobility, and when you have a map like Black Goldville, running around can save their lives, or basically can save their matches. So let's see. Oh, I'm really chuffed. Basically, you just see the line. You lack the... I might need to work on the size of the logo, to be honest. Where's my logo? I'm not sure how or where to put it then. Maybe just put it here. But then you can't see the map, so that's not really logical either. I'll think about it. But here we go into the 3rd match of this best of 5. Was just gonna say it would help to actually load into the game, but there we go. Dun 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 dun. So I actually thought Mutsu just said that he knows who Mutsu is my waifu is. And for me, I don't know the character, so for me it's like he's saying that you're his waifu, Mutsu. So that's kind of funny. Let's go up and away. We see both teams heading towards the base A side with a little bit towards the middle. Base B is totally neglected by Twilight though, and that could be very expensive for them if ECG manages to get that cap. The Vic is here, serving as a prime spotter, spotting part of the enemy team so they know that there's people going to be there. Zhengpang moving into base B. Minerva is there though, so he has to be careful and see if he can cap it without getting decapped here, and just angle very well. He does get shot at, but it doesn't pan, and that means that ECG has a bit of a point advantage there. Masso does not get decapped in base A. And we have the Vickers at the back heading towards base C, which is completely abandoned right now. But that would give ECG the advantage that they're looking for. At the same time, it means that Twilight has a gun advantage here. And they have to be careful not to lose their HP too quickly. Shots are being fired so far. Frozen, and well, now we see more happening. We have Twilight playing very aggressively. Basically forcing C21 to move where he doesn't want to move, but he can't actually stay there. So he drops down, which is the only thing that he can do, even though he will be set upon now. And overall, HP is dropping. Chenyev is losing a lot of it. And he is the first gun to be taken out. In this case, you can see the lack of focus fire all around. People shooting lots of different targets. And that makes this just look at like a very, very chaotic match. T22 takes out Minerva. Both teams have lost a tank here. Masso not looking too healthy. JTFK moving in, but he's already taken out. And ECG seems to have a bit of an upper hand here. But it's just chaos, this. JTFK in a very precarious position here. He's not going to survive for much longer. But even now, they're looking at different targets. They're not shooting the same people, and that's not going to go well for them. Van Persie losing quite a bit of HP there. We have the Vickers moving around at the back. And maybe JTFK will get another shot in, but there he goes. 4 versus 4. And it seems that Zhang Peng is going to be the next primary target to get taken out. But Van Persie is actually first by the Vickers, who is just flanking around. ECG has 2 bases though, so as long as the Vickers just stays alive, which includes not just standing there, but being more sneaky, they should have this. Test fire, losing a lot of HP there, going after the Vickers. But he has to be careful to survive, because he is the key to this. But there we go, 1k points for ECG. And the match is theirs. To be fair, it's chaos. It makes it funny though, to be honest. And this, I mean, I don't mean this in a bad way. It is top 16, not the top 8, but basically top 9 to 16, not top 8. So there's always a difference there in place. So there's a reason these teams have not made it to the top 8. But they're still good professional teams. And they can still do a lot, as you can see. So let's see. I got tagged. Oh. Anyhow, let's focus on the 4th match. The pressure is on now for Twilight. They have to win 2 in a row to take this matchup home, whereas ECG just has to win 1 more. And for the stacked match on Black Gold Field, we see that Twilight is taking a Kranwagen, 2 IS-4s, 3 E5s even, and a T22. And they're going to go up against a Vickers, 2 IS-4s, a Kranwagen, 2 E5s, and a Grill. I'm very, very curious to see how that's going to go. And to be fair, I like that teams surprise me. I worry when they do. So let's have a look. 27 seconds left to go before we go into the 4th match. Potentially the last match if ECG manages to bring this home. Why would you name your clan after a bunch of random numbers though? But that's probably because I'm also not too familiar with the Asia server clan scene. So it's really my own fault. So let's see, here we go. I do love these names though, it's funny. I actually don't know where Mutsu is coming, what Mutsu is from, so you need to tell me that sometime, Mutsu. And here here we go with the grill. Very curious what the grill will do and how it will perform, because yes, it's mobile and it can do big booms, but at the same time it is very dangerous to take a grill. So now we have Twilight heading towards the base C area as a whole. And the thing is, ECG is doing the same thing, and that can prove to be very, very difficult. Both teams have pretty much lit each other up completely. Grill shoots but doesn't do any damage. Actually, no, I think he did. He hit test fire. A little bit of damage done to Frozen. Base C is now being taken. The Vickers is running away. Pretty much the whole team is running away. And that can be it's very peculiar. This was not what they intended to happen. Not what they expected to happen either. Base C has been taken. This means that Twilight has a point advantage. And a current base advantage. But that is going to go very soon with the Vickers capping base A. Let's see. Frozen and Van Persie. Oof, Kranz getting another shot from the grill there. To be fair, he is earning his HP. Vickers is not careful enough though. Losing a lot of HP very, very quickly. And in a very tricky position. He needs to really not be there. And now he's hightailing it out of there. Kranz has lost more HP here. Vic is now safely in the caves, repositioning himself. And we have Twilight pretty much clustering together in their spawn, with half the team there and half the team near base C. Base B will be pretty much impossible to take at this stage. So it will be up to ECS, ECG, to do something else. But at this stage, I think it's more that Twilight is intending to take base A. The Vickers seems to be sensing that something's going to happen. Especially when Frozen gets spotted there. We have Test Fire moving in. And if they manage to get this base, that will pretty much solidify their position. He's not spotting anyone. Minerva took some damage there and a little bit more. We have ECG moving in, going for base C. We have a bit of a rotation going on. At the same time, they can't really afford to just cap the base. They need to take out the tanks. JTFK losing quite a bit of HP there. Thing is that he's not alone. And Coke Bottle is very lucky to bounce the shots that he has. Minerva not looking too healthy here. It has... Ooh, I was just gonna say it did let them cap base B though, but that's no longer the case. Kranz resetting that. And again, the focus fire is not there. Minerva gets taken out. Kranz keeping to try to take out C21. And now he gets set upon by ECG, and they take him out as well. And now Frozen has been taken out as well. And that is a 3-gun advantage right now for ECG, and it's not looking good for Twilight. Mutsu is my waifu, gets set upon now, gets taken out. And we have the T-22 and the E5 now facing off against a Kranwagen and an E5. And here too, they're not focus firing, they're just shooting different targets, no, just like how it suits them. And there we go. Only Tesfaye is left. And the match is definitely for ECG. And it's actually the grill that takes him out. The grill performing... Where is he? Oh, never mind. Performing a lot better than I would have expected, to be honest. And that means that ECG has taken it home. They won the first matchup and they are through to the upper bracket, whereas Twilight is moving through to the lower bracket. So despite everything, there is still no fix for this bug. But let's see what has happened for the rest of the matches. Like I said, we are streaming the challenges. Let's have a look. ECG will be going up against Durmon tomorrow. And we are going to follow Twilight probably to the lower bracket versus King, which means that King has lost as well. And they've lost against German. What that actually, duh. That was a lovely brain derp to have. But yeah. Basically that is happening in like 25-ish minutes. So I'm going to be showing you some replays, but let's look at this first. Because we have PGMT versus Kami and NQE7 versus DGG on the other sides. Basically what happens now is that now we get like the lower bracket, which is ECG versus King, and then tomorrow we get Twilight versus King. Then we get tomorrow ECG versus Durmon, and the loser of that versus the winner of the match that we're going to see in a little bit. Because why on earth would you make it easy? I still don't understand why Wargaming just doesn't do a double elimination bracket with 8 teams rather than 2 full teams elimination brackets. It's a bit tricky. Oh well. Like I said, I've got a bunch of replays for you guys, so I'm going to be showing you some of those. And let's start with one from Mutsu. Let's go. In the Shark. One of my favorite tanks, to be fair. It's kind of like an E5 at tier 8, and that generally suits me. So let's see. I love the camo. Just with the shark face. I can't show it to you now, but there's like a shark face on this tank, which is why it's called the Shark, and it's awesome. So let's see. There you saw it a little bit there. Just look at that. It's so cool. I think there's some internet issues there with Mutsu. But it's just, oh, it looks so fine. He's just looking sideways to spot, because this is something that a lot of people don't realize. Spotting doesn't mean just driving somewhere. You actually have to look in the direction that you want to spot someone in. I'm not sure what Mutsu is doing. I'm not sure that Mutsu knows what he's doing either. Because he's in a very tricky position. He did get spotted there though. I have a feeling that you're having some issues, Mutsu. He will have been unspotted by now, so he can actually move. I do generally hope that you send me the right replay. KPF has been spotted. There we go. Mutsu being a bit more forwards here. Shooting another one. Being quite aggressive here, not necessarily a bad thing. Takes a hit. It's moving very blockily here, the replay itself, so I think that you were having issues. Nice, higher roll. Things if you'd been a bit more to the side, it would have actually been easier for you to do things. The funny thing is that other shot was a higher roll, but this was like only 11 damage less. So that's, yeah. That is a big hit to take. KPF is a lovely tank, to be fair. But it's not an easy tank. Mainly because the reload is just so long. And he has to be a little bit careful. He has 2 TDs behind him, but they're not stupid enough to just go into that side. 2 and 30. Aww. Oh, that poor guy. 1.4k is just the damage there. That was brutal, not gonna lie. Using the corpse to his advantage. And that's the end of the IS-3. They are looking at him. And that was a nice bounce. He's actually getting the base, which adds to the points in XP. It's always nice when you have corpses in the right position. Very patiently played. That Hori is worth his weight in gold, to be honest. Should have waited a little bit longer there. There you go, nicely done. There we go. IS-3, not very happy there. Oh, but that was special. Nice ace though. With some internet issues in the beginning. But it worked out nicely for you, Mutsu. Lovely game. A little bit of supremacy points as well. So let's see, we have like 15 minutes left before we get a room invite, so I can show you another few replays. Let's see what else have I got for you. I've got some T54 games. Let's start with that then. Kasu was grinding this out. He's been giving me a lot of aces in this tank. He's an OP player. I do not like this map though. Himmelsdorf. It's not like a bad map. I just don't like playing on it. There's other maps that I prefer a lot more. I like the hilly maps. So Canal, Normandy. Also because they're much bigger. But vineyards. They're just like, I like the way that the ground works there a lot more than just flat with buildings. And of course, Kasu never plays supremacy if he can help it. And now he's being a bit more forward, with most of the team spotted elsewhere. But there's an E1 here, which is always just juicy. And a Vickers, which is also juicy. Especially when they're not looking at you, but at your teammate. There we go, he just needs one more shot to take him out. PTA is not going to live for much longer. See? Not gonna lie, that was funny. 2 HP and you take more damage from a run than you get it. And that always helps, lovely little track shot. Nicely done. Nice little bounce as well. Like I said, Kasu is a really OP player. E1 is not happy. This Vickers is a little bit special. She's wanting to run at this stage. As if you can't be followed by a T54. Waffle, not going to survive for much longer either. That was a derp, not gonna lie. But there he goes. Four versus 4. I was just gonna say we're still missing one, but there's the E100. And they have 2 of them, so that's dangerous. They can do lots and lots and lots of damage. That was a lucky just track shot. 5A not happy either. E75 is the best bet, to be honest. He just needs to be very careful not to take more damage. Oh, that was lucky. And Kasu is just basically moving a lot, which is a very good thing to do. That guy is continuously complaining as if that's going to help anything. There we go. This will be very, very tricky though. That E75 needs to not manage to hit him. Oh, the E100 is already dead, so it's not even going to help him. And they are coming for him, so he needs to be very careful and fast, really. Just outrun them somehow. Oh, but this is always a nightmare scenario, to be honest. That was a much needed bounce. This is why I carry a lot of promo. And off 5.8k damage, and it's not enough to win in a tier 9. That is oof. Ouch. Good game, very good thinking. It just wasn't enough. Only very small mistakes, so I can't really blame him for anything. So let's see, what else have I got for you? Oh, let's do another one from Custom T54. Got a bunch of those. Also got one of mine in the T54. Different map, this is much hillier. I kind of like this map a lot more as well. I always feel that tanks that I drive can perform much better on these kind of maps than on the flat city map. So let's see. Kastu moving in again, no supremacy there. God, Cosmo, I'm definitely not going to play a game myself. I can't play PC to save my life, so I'm just not going to try. AMX driving into him. Oof, that miss. There you go. He just needs to be careful. The AMX needs to not be there, to be honest. Most of the team is like literally waiting in spawn. So that's kind of special too. Thing is, I don't like playing on PC. I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. So I need a lot more practice or a working controller. But for some reason the controller stuff doesn't work for PC right now. So I can't really play for you. Sorry. I might give it a go sometime if I've had more practice. He's been spotted now, so he missed. The ice tree missed. That one didn't miss though. Not from the ice tree, but someone else. There you go. It's the Pantera. Lovely tank that. I do love it. Cousin taking hits that he really does not need to take. Moiskin in the way. And another bounce. Kazu not being careful enough here. He is bouncing quite a bit, but he's playing quite aggressively, to be honest. There we go. He just has to make sure to not over angle. There you go, that helps. But he is losing teammates quite quickly, so he has to be careful. Don't use HE, honestly. It's just too dangerous. So now it's 4 versus 4. To be fair, Kasu, I adore you, but you made a lot of mistakes this game. Compared to other games I've seen you play. You've just gotten away with it, that's all. There he is. Kasu going elsewhere though. Oof. Nice one. So he has 2 campers. And no current targets. Let's see. An AFK heavy. That's a med. So that's always something to be careful of. Oh. Him moving is actually a very, very bad idea. Yeah, we know that. Let's see. There we go, that's what we were waiting for. There we go, perfect. And this is how you can potentially win with an AFK on your team. He knows the Yaktik is there as well. He's just like very undecided. And he just fired. There we go. Well done. That is lovely teamwork. With a lot of mistakes in the beginning. Or basically just not being careful enough. But very, very nicely done. Good teamwork. Well, it's nice to see that ace after the dismal game on Himmelsdorf. Let's see, what else have I got for you? Oh, let's do this one then. I was talking to you before about how much I love the 260. This was a game I had yesterday and I was having such a bad day. No, actually no, yesterday was a good day. The day before was absolutely dismal. But the thing is that I can only concentrate for so long and then my concentration slips and I start noobing out a lot, and that's to do with my health. My health affects my brain, which is not good. But I was like, I just want one more win. So me and Yusuf decided to go for one more game after having 2 very dreadful losses. Let's see. And here we go then. In the bike with the lovely camo. Basically, just Heavyums and I just really work along. We get along very well. So I go into cap and I spot someone, and that's actually the guy that greeted us so nicely. I'm not alone though, I have friends. So I'm using that to my advantage, just to keep him spotted. And to see if he's out of shots yet. Because it is a clipper. So once he's done that, I just decide to go for him. Get some shots in. Get a tracking shot, which also helps. And again, I'm not alone. The fact that he's retreating to me means that he's reloading his clip right now. But then he bounces on me, so I'm lucky there. E5 does take a hit though. And the poor guy then gets murdered with a high roll. I'm not sure if it was a high roll actually. No, it wasn't. That was a high roll. So now I have the E4 over there. And I have a Batcher in front of me. E4 is turning literally the wrong way, so I can get a shot into him. So I really want this Batcher gone. Which, because it's always a pain. So I'm peeking out and I shoot him. But he shoots me back and he actually does more damage to me than I do to him. So that's actually not a good trade. But he's really giving me the evil eye. He hits the building then though instead of me, so that's helpful. E5 gets a shot into him. And then he becomes a one shot and I just decide to go for it. Kill him off. And with them having 3 bases and taking out guns very, very quickly, I need to be careful. So it's a good thing that I managed to take him out with that one shot. And then we have the AMX, who decides to run away. And I decide to go after him before he reloads. Which he has done by then. But I finish him off. And then decide to cap. I have 5 kills at this stage, but with the distance and the HP that those two have left, I know that it's not going to be a res, and I'm not going to try for it, so I decide to just go for the base and secure it that way. Not too fussed, because I did get 5 kills anyway, and did not do nice damage. And there we go. The 1A3 is very, very special. So I also gave him a downvote after the battle. And the E5 will take him out before I get there. But overall it was a pretty fast but lovely game. And I do love this tank. It really suits me. So yeah, that was a Reaper, but 5 kills. Lovely tank this, I really do like it. Oh, and there's a room invite. King versus Twilight. And we are preparing to go to Faust for the very first battle, so I'm a big fan of that as well. Basically, Faust is pretty much my favorite map in the game, to be honest. And that's mainly to do with, like, it's just so different. There's hills, and, well, not hills, like, but there's tunnels, and there's bridges, and just lots of different kinds of positioning. Lots of lines of fire all across the map, and it just makes it very, very interesting. So yeah, less than 3 minutes to go before you go into the matchup. Both teams already completely ready, and that is exactly why there is a 5-minute delay on this stream, to avoid anyone stream sniping anyone. But we have Twilight ready in a Kranwagen, 3 IS4s, a T22 and 2 E5s, versus 2 113s, 4 E5s and an IS4. 113s are also those kind of tanks. It used to be meta. Right now it isn't. It does have the DPM, but it does not have the armor. So let's see. Two minutes left to go before we go into the match. And as said, this is challenges, it's not professional, but it's still lovely to see. And professionals are being streamed as well. By a whole bunch of people, some Chinese, not sure what platform they use. I don't think they use YouTube, they use something else. But yeah. So let's see. 1.5 minutes left to go before we go into the match. Not much to say before then, except that I love Faust. And I genuinely hope that you guys like the fact that you just see my logo. I still need to decide where to put the logo, to be honest. I can put it here, but you don't see. Here it's just meh. Still think this is the best place, even though you will like miss out the first name of one of the players. I'm not sure. We'll still need to look at that. Not sure what to do with it. I want it there. Removing it is not an option, but I just don't know where to put it. Let's see. 40 seconds left to go. I'm actually like hyped for this part of the season. I always am, but it's been a while since I've been able to do multiple servers. I actually had to take the week off of work in order to do this. Because, like I said, I've got lots of health issues. So everything that I do takes a massive amount of effort. And that means that on days like this, the only thing that I can do is basically stream, eat, sleep. That's literally the three things that I do during 24 hours. Because it's 1 PM you have Asia. Then you have 8 PM EU. And 3 AM you have NA. So that's a bit deadening for any streamer. So yeah, taking the week off was a good call. But will be fun regardless. No such thing as noobing out for you, Yusuf. You're one of my favorite platoon people. I always take a lot of primal. I'm the leader of the Gold Noob Association for a reason, you know. So let's see. We have pretty much both teams focusing on the side near them. King not even going to get base C. Whereas Twilight does get spotted crossing over and they do take base B. But it is interesting to see that they're not going for the base closest to their own spawn though. Because this means that Twilight has just an advantage here. And we have Pastel that's actually moving in. I just got a notification from my system. Oh dear. Not sure how this is going to go. If you can still hear me. Let's see. That's actually my mouse that's giving issue. There we go. I just need to... There we go. My mouse is back, I think. I hope. My mouse is giving issues, so that's not nice. So my laptop is having issues while Frozen gets murdered. I'm going to try and do it with my mouse pad, but that's not like very comfortable. So I'm sorry for any action that I might have missed there. Johnston Morvictor has been taken out. We have Salmonella facing off against multiple people. Again, the focus fire is basically leaving lots to be desired. Dalai Dama gets taken out. What is with these names? Don't do this to me, really. Salmonella. Pretty much a lot of one-shots here, but they need to be taken out. And now there's only enemy accurate left. And this means that the first match will be for Twilight. And I'm hoping that I can get my mouse working again in the next 2 minutes. And there we go. With a flying turret that gave it almost a 3D effect. So let's see. I do think my microphone is at least still working. That's the most important part. So let's go look at the team results real quick. A very brutal game from Twilight. I'm not sure what King's intentions were here, to be honest. Because that did look a bit iffy. I'm also just going to see what happens if I plug my mouse in a different slot. Do hope it works. Seriously, Windows does not like my mouse anymore. That's... Ugh. I have a spare mouse, so I can just look it up later. I'm not sure why it decided to just, like, not work anymore right now. But it is what it is, and if it's not working now, not much I can do with it. Yeah, okay. Touchpad. Oh my god. Seriously. There's just been issue after issue these days. Still not sure why, but as long as my microphone is working, that's all good, to be honest. So I'll let my mouse be my mouse, and I'll try my best to do it properly with a touchpad. Which isn't nearly as effective as I pretty much never used. I have like USB mice for a reason. But hey, we'll see. But yeah, 50 seconds left to go, and we have Twilight ready in a Kranwagen 3 IS4s, 2 E5s and a T22 versus 2 IS4s, 3 E5s and a T22. So a very similar lineup, with the only difference that Twilight is taking a Kranwagen. This is going to be interesting to do with the touchpad, to be honest. Oh, it's one of those days, you know? I spent like an hour this morning trying to sort out other stuff in OBS, and now just my whole laptop is just derping on me. So touchpad it is. Let's see. Up and away. At least all of this is still working. It's having some issues, but hey, it's still working. So basically now King is going for base D. And we have the T22 on Twilight's side going for a cap as well. We have Holiday not going into base B, but actually trying to flank them. Basically needs to do it in a little bit of stop motion, because it's not letting me do the arrows and the mouse pad at the same time. It doesn't like that. And I can't like scroll, as in zoom. So both teams have a base now. Base B is now being taken. Holiday has gone into that. And we have part of like Twilight waiting in the spawn. And now he is going to go towards base A. Thing is, it will be T22 versus T22. And so far it's pretty much a stalemate kind of thing. No, he's not going into base A after all, the T22. Amlon, Iosk, basically these names, just why? Why you do this to me? Let's see. Twilight now moving in. They will lose quite a bit of HP just crossing over though, because of the positions that King is in. We have Churchill, Chunston, Weirchul, because why not? Muts is my waifu, being very forwards here and getting set upon by multiple tanks. Focus fire again is just not there. Chunston, Muts is my waifu, gets taken out first. Salmonella is being set upon and gets taken out. But so does Van Persie. And basically they really need to focus fire. Pastel gets set upon, getting hit from a lot of different angles. Chinston making sure he can't really retreat fully, but now pretty much give him cover. Chinston almost gone. And test fire might take him out. No, he's actually shooting a different tank. He does get taken out though, and it is 5 versus 5, but HP wise, Twilight still has it, but they have a lot of low HP targets, and that is the tricky part here. Pastel gets taken out, and that basically means that they no longer have a gun advantage. So many low HP targets that do not get taken out, and this is a big issue here for this matchup as well. It is 4 versus 3, Frozen not looking too healthy at all. Test fire getting set upon They have to make sure that every shot counts here. Fenneco takes damage. And not sure, Tesfaye is still alive, not sure how or why. They are trying to take out Holiday. And Tesfaye is still alive somehow. Going after the T-22, who then takes him out. So it is now 2 versus 2. Sorry, 3 versus 2. And basically, Laila Dama has to be taken out. And now we just have Amlon left. Because why on earth would you take normal pronounceable names? And he just gets basically massacred. And Twilight takes this match against the walls, to be honest. Yeah, it's just... my mouse is just basically given up. Or rather, my laptop's given up on my mouse, that's all. 17k damage done by one team, 15k by the other. It was a close game, this. But now the pressure is on for King, really. Because it's now 2-0 for Twilight. And that means that they have to win 3 in a row in order to go through. And the thing is that this is the lower bracket. So if you're kicked out here, you're definitely out of the tournament as a whole. Let's see. Basically, I'm just rolling with the punches here that my laptop is giving me. My laptop is having some issues. There's been some updates, and ever since then, just things are just derpy. But here we go. Twilight getting ready in a Kranwagen. Or maybe not. Things are being changed. We are moving to Desert Sands. And let's see. King at least completely ready now with 3 E5s, a T-22, 2 Kranwagen and an IS-4. Versus 3 E5s, 2 IS-4s, a Kranwagen and a T-22. So that's pretty much very similar lineup. The only difference is that Twilight is taking an IS-4 rather than an extra Kranwagen. Half a minute left to go before we go into the match. And like I said, the pressure is definitely on King to make something happen here. Ah no, I'm just going to dig out another mouse. I've pretty much every once in a while my mouse fails. So that's why I've like invested in having a few spares at home. But here we go, countdown clock has begun. 1 second, and there we go. Into the third game of this matchup. And seriously, I can't really advise anyone to do touchpad spectating. Because for some reason, if you try to use the buttons and the touchpad at the same time, it's like, nope, not doing this. It's kind of like, just adapt. And just try and find a spot where you can just like keep watching. There we go. Both teams heading towards the desert but leaving a portion of their tanks in the city. We have the IS-4s going to the middle, T-22 spotting each other up. Lots of lines of fire happening, but only Holiday is taking some damage here. And going in quite forward. I'm not sure that this was the intention. But Holiday is now on his own versus 2 tanks. Even if they're not really looking at him. This is very special gameplay by Van Persie here. Who's only now starting to turn and thinking maybe he should shoot people. And Van Persie is the first one gone. Now we have Fenneco is my waifu moving in. And taking lots of damage. So now Fenneco is going to be quickly taken out as well. Focus fire is suddenly there in King's side. So you have Pastel at the back there. Frozen now offering himself up. Johnston Virtual still alive if barely. And he gets taken out. But he's only the first gun gone. And HP wise there's a big advantage for King here. Frozen gets taken out as well. I'm really not sure what Holiday was thinking pushing in like that. But it definitely worked out. No idea why Percy wasn't even shooting at him. Because that is definitely special. Enemy accurate gets taken out. Laddie mate, barely alive but still alive. There he goes. And it is 3 versus 5. I'm very... Every time my Windows makes a sound here, I'm not very happy. Oh my god, honestly, this laptop. Holiday has been taken out. It is 3 versus 4. 2 versus 4. Neptune has been taken out, but we have an E5 versus 3 very healthy tanks. Pastel is at the back, but he's got barely any HP left. He can't really do much of anything. And now Tesfaye, his only chance is basically getting into the lines of fire of Pastel, but that's not even going to work because he missed that shot or bounced it. Tesfaye, there he goes. And now we only have Pastel left, who does land another shot. But there we go. It would be nice to get some higher. There we go. And he gets taken out by Salmonella crossing over a ridge there. And King takes home a match. Seriously, as long as my microphone is still working, the game is still working, I'm happy-ish. Oh my god, these games though. Seriously, it looked very dubious the way that the 2 IS-4s from Twilight pushed through the middle and didn't even look at the people shooting at them. That was, yeah, dubious. 1.5 minutes left to go before we go into the 4th game of this best of 5. Anything can still happen. King slowly making comeback. Let's see if they can continue this. And we have Twilight ready in 1 Kranwagen, 2 IS-4s, 1 T-22 and 3 E5s. Versus 2 IS-4s, a 268, a T-22, a Vickers and 2 E5s. Depending on... No, we have 3 E5s and 1 IS-4 now. Let's see. 50 seconds left to go before we go into the match. Again, potentially the last match. I do apologize for the camera work because, like I said, with the touchpad, it's not really easy. And I can't just run away now to grab and install that other mouse because it is in another room. So let's see. I think this is potentially the last battle for this matchup there is. And that will all depend on what happens next. Because if King takes another match down, we get a tiebreaker. But for now, we're going into the 2nd match on Desert Sands. Let's see. I think I make sure to have 2 spares Mutsu. 2 spare mice, and once one of them breaks, I order 2 more. So I will have at least 2 more in thingy. It's actually quite funny because the mouse that I will be using now, once this matchup is over and I'm preparing for EU later, is like all blinged out. I'll send a picture on Discord later. So we see not really similar movements. Most of the members are going into the desert straight away. Lines of fire happening but no damage being done yet. Van Persie and Neptune facing off against each other. Enemy accurate holding near the plane. Oh, this is annoying. I just want to turn as I fly. Salmonella wants help. Not sure if they're going to do a push or some such. But we have Twilight holding. Moots is my waifu. deciding not to go there. A little bit of damage being done to Amlon. And basically we have the figures at the back. Salmonella losing a little bit of HP. Pastel being quite forwards here, which can work out really, really well. Or really, really bad because we have a 268 at the back there. And if he gets his hit done, that could be very dangerous. Especially since they don't see him yet. Base C is being taken by the T22. Pastel just got a big hit from the 268, and that is exactly what I was talking about. So he basically needs to not be there, as he's taking just more and more damage there. He needs to not be there. We have a battle happening in the city. And now we have Twilight more or less pushing, going into base A. T22 has been taken out though. And that means that Van Persie won't be too far behind probably. And that means that it's all the more important for Twilight to move in here. Salmonella gets shot upon a lot. Now a one shot. And they really need to take out the guns. There he goes. First gun gone. We have Frozen, not looking too healthy, gets taken out by enemy accurate. Van Persie still fighting, but barely alive. Amlon still alive somehow, but gets taken out. Holiday gets taken out. It is 4 versus 4, but Pastel is not looking too healthy, and they really need him to survive. But he doesn't. So we have Testify focusing on the 268, I'm sorry. But he might have some help soon. Oof. That he does. And he does get another hit in. And now it's very important to use Primo and make that kill count. And it does. And now HP wise, Twilight should have this. Base wise as well, because they have the base. Oof, big hit there into Neptunus. That is very true. Mutsu just said Windows makes noise, Amulet, panic! And that's kind of how it feels, to be fair. Mutsu is my waifu, takes out Neptunus. Lai Dama. Might as well get that Sandworm out at this stage. Because he might run, but he's not going to be able to outrun them. And they are going to move into a sort of pincer movement here. Oof, that missed though. But then there's Tesfaye and he takes him out. And the game is for Twilight. So that was a very tricky game as well. It was a lot closer. This was the closest one yet, to be fair. But it was, I don't know. King seemed to have the position. I think the fact that the 268 didn't relocate after that first shot actually cost them a lot here. Because it took away the threat, because they knew exactly where he was. They knew what they needed to do. And Van Persie surviving as long as he did in the city, that made all the difference as well. So massive kudos to Twilight for taking home this match and going through to the next round tomorrow, and commiserations to King for getting knocked out. So let's see who is left. So tomorrow we are starting it off with Durmon versus ECG. I mean, I'm assuming this. I'm not actually sure what group I will be following tomorrow, but hopefully the same one. And then we will have the loser of that versus Twilight. I can't even scroll, honestly. Let's see if I can get this to work. No, because why on earth would you? Oh god, this is... I miss my mouse. But yeah, it's not letting me scroll. Oh well. Oh, there we go. Okay, I found out a way to scroll. And on the other side we have... Tomorrow we start off with NQE7 versus DGG, and then the loser of that versus Kami. And then you have the finals as well. So you also get like... You first get the upper bracket, then you have the loser of that versus the loser of... versus the winner of today, the last match. And then you get the upper bracket finals as well. So that's 3 matches tomorrow. I will only be able to stream the first 2. And that has to do with the fact that I have therapy in the afternoon. So I need to leave at this time tomorrow in order to make it in time there. So I will be streaming the first 2 matches. And I will have to miss out on the 3rd one. So apologies for that. Nothing I can do to help that. But for now, this is it for now. Let's have a look actually at the professionals. What's happened there. Because they're having the same thing. Feast versus ID tomorrow, followed by the loser of that versus... Dun 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 dun. Versus... well, basically, yeah, the loser of that versus HLV. And that means that Cats is out. And then we have RN versus E7. And the loser of that versus... Oh, that's still happening right now. Ooh. Okay, so that's still happening. Don't know that yet. But like I said, I will be back tomorrow with challenges for you. But first, I will be back this evening with EU professionals and followed by NA professionals later in the night. So that's it for me for now. I wish you all a very good night. And I'm actually going to check just to make sure that I shouldn't have a match right now. To be fair, but I'm just never certain. I always get like confused with dates and times and everything, so I just want to make sure. It would help if it loaded, because that would answer my question. Yeah, tomorrow we start off with this. So this is it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be seeing you guys for EU tonight and NA tonight, and then otherwise tomorrow for Challenges Asia again. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll be back later. Bye bye.